There are places on Earth where entry is forbidden, not because they're private, but because what's inside is too dangerous, too secret, or too unexplained. From an island swarming with deadly snakes, to a vault designed to restart humanity, and even a place the government denied existed for decades. These 5 real locations are off limits, and once you find out why, you'll understand exactly what they're hiding. Which one would you risk visiting if no one could? Stop you? Tell us in the comments below. Roughly 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, there's an island where no one is allowed to set foot, not tourists, not researchers, not even military patrol. It's not because of national security or classified experiments. It's because the island wants you dead. Ilha da Queimada Grande, more famously known as Snake Island, is one of the most biologically dangerous places on the planet. Not a metaphor, a terrifying fact. The island is small, only 110 acres, and covered in dense forest. At first glance, it looks like paradise. A pristine tropical outcrop surrounded by calm waters and seabirds circling above. But if you step onto its soil, within minutes, you'll encounter one of its thousands of deadly inhabitants, the golden lancehead viper, Bothrops insularis. This isn't your average snake. It's one of the most venomous vipers in the world, capable of melting human flesh with its hemotoxic venom. And Snake Island is the only place in the world where this species lives. Why? Isolation and evolution. Thousands of years ago, rising sea levels cut the island off from mainland Brazil, leaving the snakes stranded and with no predators. Over time, they adapted. They became more toxic, more aggressive, and shockingly abundant. By most estimates, there's one snake for every square meter. Let that sink in. Stories from locals and early explorers are the stuff of nightmares. Legend tells of a fisherman who landed on the island looking to collect bananas. He never returned. Days later, his boat was found drifting, blood on the deck, and no sign of him. Another tale involves a lighthouse keeper and his family, stationed on the island in the early 1900s. One night, snakes slithered in through the open windows. The family tried to flee, but didn't make it. Soon after, the lighthouse was deactivated, and Snake Island was closed to the public, permanently. Today, only select scientists are allowed to visit, and even then, they need special government clearance and must be accompanied by a medic trained in snakebite protocol. Even these trips are rare. The risk is too high. One misstep, one branch mistaken for a vine, and you could be dead in under an hour. So, why not wipe them out? It's not that simple. The golden lancehead is critically endangered, and its venom contains unique compounds used in medical research, including potential treatments for heart disease and cancer. Ironically, the snake that can kill you in minutes may one day save your life. Still, the ban holds. Ilha Queimada Grande is one of the only places on Earth where nature has won completely. No fences, no traps, no walls, just a natural population so deadly, the entire human race keeps its distance. And if you're thinking, I could handle it, I'd just be careful. Think again. The snakes live in trees, in rocks, in the underbrush, even in birds' nests. You wouldn't see them until you felt the bite. By then, it's too late. What makes Snake Island so terrifying isn't just the danger, it's that you're not allowed to face it. The island is there. It exists. It's within reach. But the ban turns curiosity into obsession. And maybe that's the real trap. On a remote island in the Arctic Ocean, halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole, there's a facility buried deep inside a mountain. Surrounded by snow, ice, and polar bears, it's known by a name that sounds like science fiction. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault. But it's not fiction. It's real. It's heavily protected, and you are not allowed inside. Opened in 2008, the Seed Vault was designed for one reason: to save the world's crops in case of global catastrophe, famine, nuclear war, natural disaster, climate collapse. If the worst happens, this vault holds the key to restarting agriculture, and by extension, civilization itself. Think of it as the world's ultimate backup drive, not for data, but for life. Built 130 meters into the sandstone rock of Plattbergen Mountain on the island of Spitsbergen, the vault is engineered to survive nearly anything. Rising sea levels? It's elevated. Terrorism or sabotage? The doors are blast resistant and weigh over 10 tons. Global power outage? No problem. The Arctic permafrost naturally keeps the interior below freezing, preserving seeds. Even if the electricity goes out, it can withstand earthquakes, nuclear fallout, even direct missile strikes. It's been called the most secure room on Earth. So, what's inside? As of now, the vault holds over 1.2 million distinct seed samples from almost every country on the planet. Rice from Asia, corn from South America, wheat from the Middle East, ancient grains from Africa, even rare and extinct varieties that no longer grow in the wild. Each seed sample is sealed in a foil packet and stored in boxes, stacked on industrial shelves in 3 separate chambers carved into the mountain. Together, these seeds represent the genetic blueprint of human agriculture. But here's the strange part. The vault is not controlled by any single government. It's operated by a partnership between the Norwegian government, the Crop Trust, and the Nordic Genetic Resource Center. Countries send their seeds and retain ownership, like a deposit in a safety deposit box. But access? Extremely limited. Only approved researchers and designated caretakers are allowed inside. And even they don't handle the seeds directly. Chambers are sealed except during scheduled deposits or withdrawals. Journalists? Not allowed past the steel doors? Tourists? Absolutely not. Even if you somehow reach the island, braving temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees Celsius, and dodging territorial polar bears, you'd find yourself staring at a sleek, slanted concrete entrance jutting from a frozen cliff. No signs. No staff. No welcome mat. Just silence. And ice. You may be wondering, has it ever been used? Yes. In 2015, the first withdrawal was made. Syrian researchers, unable to access their damaged seed bank in war-torn Aleppo, requested seeds from Svalbard to restart their work in Morocco and Lebanon. A chilling reminder that this vault, while futuristic, serves a very real and present purpose. Still, conspiracy theories abound. Some say there's more stored inside than just seeds, DNA samples, ancient pathogens, or even secret biotech data. Others claim the location is symbolic, close to a magnetic pole, far from global conflict, as if Svalbard was chosen not just for safety, but for ritual protection. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain: you are not allowed in. Not now. Not ever. Because while the Seed Vault was built to protect humanity's future, it's also a stark reminder that not all of us will be there to see it. In the Bay of Bengal, off the southeastern coast of India, there's a small tropical island covered in dense forest and surrounded by coral reefs. At a glance, it could be mistaken for paradise, but step ashore and you may never step back. Is North Sentinel Island home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth, and it is completely off limits by law and by force. The people who live there, the Sentinelese, are believed to have inhabited the island for over 60,000 years, untouched by modern civilization. They are among the most isolated human beings alive today. And they want it to stay that way. Every attempt at contact has been met with immediate, often deadly aggression. In 2006, 2 fishermen who drifted too close to the island were killed and buried in shallow graves on the beach. Helicopters sent to recover the bodies were chased off by tribesmen wielding bows and spears. In 2018, a missionary named John Allen Shaw illegally tried to visit the island, hoping to convert the Sentinelese to Christianity. He was shot with arrows. Within minutes of setting foot on the beach, his body was never recovered. After centuries of failed contact attempts, the Indian government officially passed laws forbidding any travel within 3 nautical miles of the island. No tourism, no research, no media. Even photography is restricted. The airspace above is monitored. The waters are patrolled. Entry is punishable by prison time, not just for your safety, but for theirs. Why? Because the Sentinelese aren't just violently unwelcoming. They're extremely vulnerable. With no immunity to modern diseases. Even the common cold could wipe out their entire population. A single handshake could be catastrophic. So in a strange twist, protecting the Sentinelese means protecting them from us. Anthropologists have speculated that the tribe's hostility stems from traumatic early encounters. British colonists once kidnapped a group of Sentinelese, 2 elders and 4 children. In the late 1800s, the elders died in captivity. The children were released back onto the island. Since then, the tribe has greeted outsiders with silence, then violence. And they've been consistent for over a century. We know very little about the Sentinelese. We don't know what language they speak. We don't know their belief system. We don't even know how many of them exist. Estimates range from 50 to 150 people. What we do know is this: they have survived for thousands of years without electricity, metal tools, agriculture, or contact with the rest of humanity. They are a living fossil of our ancient past, and the closest we may ever get to time travel on Earth. And they have made one thing perfectly clear: they don't want us. Still, people wonder, what secrets lie within that untouched jungle? Do they have oral histories of the stars? Stories of ancestors who once saw ships? Clues to how early humans lived and thought and thrived without us? Maybe, but maybe it's not our right to know, because North Sentinel Island is a place where curiosity is a threat and survival is silence. You're not allowed to visit, not because of bureaucracy, but because of mutual extinction. And that line? It's one of the last sacred boundaries left on Earth. You won't find Mesguri on many maps. You can't book a train there. You won't find photos of it on travel blogs. And if you try to go there, you won't get in, because Mesguri is a closed town in the Russian Republic of Bashkortostan, one of the last remnants of the Soviet Union's secret infrastructure, and no one outside. The Russian government really knows what happens inside. Officially, Mesguri was founded in 1979 near Mount Yamantau, a massive snow-capped peak in the southern Urals. It's surrounded by dense forests, deep tunnels, and military fencing. What's it for? That's the million-dollar question. Some believe it's the site of Russia's most secure nuclear command center, a Cold War relic built to survive a global strike. Others claim it's a massive underground city, big enough to house thousands of people and withstand direct hits from nuclear weapons. There's even speculation that it serves as a repository for national treasures, secret research labs, or a doomsday bunker for Russia's elite, the Russian government. They've said multiple things, none of them consistent. At times, it's a mining operation. At others, a food storage facility. Or maybe just a communications post. But when foreign intelligence agencies got too curious, satellite images revealed massive excavation efforts near Mount Yamantau throughout the 1990s. Long cargo trains, construction convoys, high-security checkpoints, not all for a town with no public records. You can't just drive into Mezhgorye. It's guarded 24/7 by armed soldiers. The roads are blocked. The airspace above is restricted. It is, by all accounts, a country within a country, walled off not by stone, but by silence. Residents, yes, there are some, are government employees. Every person inside is believed to have signed lifetime non-disclosure agreements. They don't talk. They don't leave freely. They don't post online. There are no outside visitors, no foreign journalists, no independent researchers. If you Google it, most of what you'll find are theories, whispers, shadowy documents. But one thing is certain. Resha wants Mezgori to stay hidden. Some declassified U.S. intelligence documents from the late 90s revealed that Mezgori may be connected to an underground network of tunnels stretching for miles beneath Mount Yamantau. What's buried down there? No one knows, but it's been nicknamed Risha's Area 51 for a reason. Except, unlike Nevada's desert, this place isn't full of tourists and conspiracy theorists trying to sneak in, because no one tries to sneak into Mezgori. And if they do, they don't come back. So why build an entire town and then erase it from public knowledge? Some theorists say it's active defense infrastructure, a backup capital, built in case Moscow ever falls. Others say it's where the real science happens, genetic research, weapons development, even experimental tech decades ahead of what the world knows. 1 shilling theory. It's a cryogenic vault storing bodies, DNA, or even minds of key officials, waiting to be revived. And here's the most unsettling part. It's still active. Satellite images show continued activity. Supply chains, electrical outputs, signals. Something is going on beneath Mount Yamantau. And Mezgori is the access point. But you'll never know, because you're not invited. No list of forbidden places would be complete without Area 51, the high-security military base in the Nevada desert that has inspired decades of conspiracy, speculation, and paranoia. But here's the part that's easy to forget. For more than 40 years, the U.S. government denied it even existed. Located about 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas, deep within the Nevada test and training range, Area 51 is a remote facility surrounded by dry mountains, restricted airspace, and motion sensors buried in the sand. You can't drive to the gate without being tailed by camo dudes, private security contractors with unmarked vehicles, and the legal right to use deadly force. There are no tours, no open records, and no journalists allowed. And the exact purpose of the base? Still classified. So what is Area 51? Officially, it's part of Edwards Air Force Base, used for testing experimental aircraft and weapon systems. That part is true. Some of the most famous aircraft in history were developed there. The U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, the F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter, each was top secret for years before the public knew they existed. So yes, Area 51 is a test site, but it's what we don't know that keeps the world obsessed. In 1989, a man named Bob Lazar claimed he worked at a facility near Area 51 called SFOR, where he was tasked with reverse engineering non-human technology, including a craft that defied gravity. He described 9 saucer-shaped vehicles, element-based propulsion, and technology that shouldn't exist. The scientific community laughed, but decades later, multiple government officials, including members of Congress and the Pentagon, admitted they have recovered off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. And suddenly, Lazar didn't sound so crazy anymore. In 2013, the CIA finally acknowledged Area 51's existence after a Freedom of Information Act request. But they only released a sliver of its history. Nothing about alien tech, strange phenomena, or what goes on today. Still, signs began to emerge that something unusual continued to happen there. In 2019, A viral Facebook event called Storm Area 51 attracted millions of people who joked about rushing the gates to see them aliens. The military responded with a public warning. Any attempt to breach the facility will be met with force. The message was clear. You are not welcome. From alien spacecraft and interdimensional experiments to anti-gravity propulsion and time travel theories, Area 51 remains a magnet for the unexplained. And while some of it may be science fiction, much of it is buried in fact. Here's what we do know. The airspace above Area 51 is some of the most restricted on Earth. Civilian satellites are often censored when flying over. Pilots who train nearby sign lifetime NDAs. And former employees disappear into total silence. So whether it's reverse engineering alien tech, testing weapons decades ahead of what we see in public, or housing secrets meant to stay buried, Area 51 was built to keep us out. And that may be all the proof we need. Would you enter Area 51 if no one could stop you? Or is some truth better left undiscovered? Let me know in the comments. Some doors are locked for a reason, but curiosity always finds a key. If these forbidden places made you question what's really out there, subscribe for more hidden truths and untold mysteries. Which of the 5 would you sneak into if no one was watching? Let me know in the comments.